Thank you so much for all the attendance here today. There's a lot of faces out there that are familiar to me from my experience here in Bowling Green, and that's why it's so incredible to have this opportunity to come back. It's a great day to be a Hilltopper. There's no question about that. In fact, my son Gunnar, who you may have heard, he's just crying because football season's not yet around soon enough. He wants to see the guys out there playing some football, and we got a lot of time before that. But first off, I just want to thank the two gentlemen sitting to my left and my right. First off, I want to thank Todd Stewart. Just an unbelievable relationship that I've had with Todd for quite some time now, going on 7 years. And Todd and I were at a lot different places in our careers 7 years ago. Todd was the sports information director, who I identified as a guy that was a great individual at his job and had a tremendous gift for athletics, and he and I developed a very good relationship then, and we've certainly kept in touch. I was a very young coach as the passing game coordinator for Willie Taggart, and just to see where our careers have gotten and to get to this point is pretty amazing. So Rebecca and Todd, I want to thank you for your service, and there's really no other athletic director in the country that I'd rather have a chance to work with than you. So thank you very much. Second to my right here, I want to thank President Ransdell for his service. Just for me to have the opportunity to see this university transform so unbelievably, even in the last 6-7 years, is something you should be very proud of. Last night we had a chance to spend some time at dinner, and really looking back on the legacy that he's built over the last 20 years between he and his beautiful wife Julie. They have an incredible amount of things to certainly be proud of on this campus. So one of which is that they've really taken a great regional university and turned it into a national university with international reach. And that's not just a slogan, but that's actually happened. And Western Kentucky is now known nationally for programs, and the Honors College is now known nationally for its football program. And certainly now the reach that it has even in countries like China. This is a place that is certainly reaching the globe. And that's what Dr. Ransdell and Julie's life's work has been here. And let's commend them, if we can, for their work here at Western Kentucky. At this time, I'd also like to thank all the former coaches here that have come before me. It's an unbelievable honor. It's humbling to be the 20th head football coach here at Western Kentucky. Just thinking of a few off the top of my head. Obviously, what Coach Brom did. I want to thank Coach Brom for his service to this university, for his staff and the work that they've done to leave this program in such an unbelievable place where we can take this next step and hit the ground running when we get this thing rolling with the new staff and when we get that going in January. Certainly to Coach Petrino for changing the national landscape of Western Kentucky University. Definitely Willie Taggart, who gave me an opportunity to work here back in 2010 and did an unbelievable job changing the roster and getting players from all over the country to come here to Bowling Green, Kentucky and play at a high level. And certainly his recent successes speak to this place and what Western Kentucky meant to him. Also to Coach Fikes. I had a chance to spend a little bit of time with him and some of his last moments, and just what an unbelievable man that Coach Fikes was. And obviously Jack Harbaugh sitting here in his namesake press box, and Jack and Jackie and what they've meant to this university and what they've meant to me in my career. Certainly had a chance to be around Jack Harbaugh both at Sanford and also here at Western Kentucky. So the thing that I'm so proud of with all those coaches, all the head coaches that have had a chance to come before me, they've laid a foundation. And like I said, we can hit the ground running because of the work that they've put in, and certainly because of the work that this staff in 2016 put in going into this Boca Bowl here on the 20th. I want to talk a little bit just about this dream of mine to be a head football coach. It started quite a while back, early 90s. My dad was the head football coach, my dad was the wide receiver coach at the University of Southern Cal. And I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and I was trying to find a way to get down on that sideline. If I was finding any way possible, I gotta sneak my way down on that sideline because that's where I wanted to be. So finally, at the age of 10, back in 1992, I was able to have the opportunity to hold the cords. Back in the days, you used to have headsets and then cords before everything was wireless. I had a chance to hold Larry Smith's cords. He was the head football coach there at USC back in 92. And I remember pacing up and down the sidelines and just trying to keep up with the action, watching the game, avoiding getting hit at 10 years old. And I remember looking up at Coach Smith, Coach Larry Smith, one of the great ones in this game. And I said, that's what I want to do when I grow up. And here I am. I have an opportunity to do that. And I feel very humbled to be able to do that. Fast forward 28 years past that in 2010, where I had an opportunity, another dream of mine was realized by having a chance to be a full-time football coach coordinator here at Western Kentucky. And I'll never forget, we were in New Haven, Connecticut, my wife and I, with a 14-day-old little baby girl, Peyton, and we got a call from Willie Taggart. He offered me the quarterback coach and passing game coordinator job here at Western Kentucky, and I could not be more excited about the opportunity to come here. Well, in that time, we had a chance to spend a year here in Bowling Green, and from being in this community, being around this university, and then also having a chance to see these world-class facilities that we have from a football standpoint, I realized right then and there that this is a job that I would love to have at some point in time. I knew I had to go and leave and better myself, so I was able to do that. So really those two dreams, starting in '92 on the field with Larry Smith, and then again in 2010, learning about Western Kentucky and learning about Bowling Green and learning about everything that this place has to offer, all those things really have come together into one great day today, and I do appreciate that opportunity. Really, guys, there's no way to express, there are no words that could quantify just how excited I am to be the head football coach here. The only way I can really say how excited I am would be evidenced by the speeding ticket that I received yesterday as we were making the transition from Indiana to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and yes, they got me in Carmel, Indiana. It was, just for the record, before we do background checks and all that, was a 5 miles per hour speeding ticket. So that is official. It wasn't a big one. Just 5 miles per hour is very conservative. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an illustration of just how excited we are as a family to get down here and get to work. So real quick, if I could, I have a pretty large contingent here. I want to give out some thank yous to my family. First off, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, Mark and Lynn Mitchell. My daughter, Peyton Jean Sanford. I'll get to you here in a second. My mother, Melinda, and my father, Mike Sr., Coach Sanford Sr. Our dear friend from Bowling Green, Kentucky, Rebecca Gathright. Our next door neighbors in South Bend that had to be here, and it means so much that they're here, Matt and Mary Rumble. And then my brother-in-law and his wife, so that would be my sister-in-law, I guess. It would be Matt Mitchell and Megan Mitchell. So just wanted to introduce them and just have a real big thank you for my family. Like I said, my daughter Peyton, she's a future, hopefully she's going to be a Western Kentucky cheerleader here in a few years. She's 6 years old. My son, Gunnar, who's, I think he was putting a straight jacket somewhere in the back. He's definitely got, I think he's going to be in competition to be the next big red. That's what we're trying to get him. Yeah, he's going to be a small red right now, but we'll get him there. And then our newest born, our newest addition is Griffin, little Griffin Michael, born just about 5 weeks ago, and which leads me to my next thing, my wife, Anne-Marie. I want to thank you. Just thank you for all you've meant to me. Thank you for the sacrifice that the sacrifices you made for our family. It's incredible what you've done for us. She's a really special woman, and people in this community that already know her know that. She's going to be a great asset to Bowling Green. She's going to be a great asset to Western Kentucky, and she doesn't like when I say this, but she's going to be the first lady of Western Kentucky football. So she's going to be doing an incredible job in that. When I think about what's really formed me as a football coach, and I look back, I got to think about the people who made me who I am today. And I just really, quite frankly, it's just by learning through osmosis and being around great coaches. So I want to thank the coaches that have formed me, starting with my high school coach in California, John Barnes at Los Alamitos High School. He taught me how to demand from your players. To Chris Giesman, who was my head high school football coach at Penn High School in Mishawaka, Indiana. He taught me that you run the football, you stop the run, you win championships. Moving on to the first opportunity I had to play college football. I played for Dirk Cutter, who's now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head football coach. He was involved in the quarterbacks, and he taught me that you have to be very black and white when you teach the quarterback position. And you got to eliminate the gray area. On to Dan Hawkins, who became the next head football coach at Boise State. He taught me how to live in the moment in a be here now mentality. That was our mantra, be here now. Next one I learned from was my position coach and offensive coordinator, Chris Peterson, now the head football coach at the University of Washington. One of the biggest mentors in my life in the 4 years I had a chance to spend with him. His whole thing about going from good to great, having a chance to be a good program, a double-digit win program, and take it to that next level. I learned a lot from Coach Peterson, and it all came back to having an incredibly high standard for the way that you do your business on a day-to-day basis. Moving on to Jim Harbaugh, I had a chance to work for him at Sanford as a young quality control coach, working with the quarterbacks. And I'll tell you right now, there is nobody who is more competitive than Jim Harbaugh in this entire planet. I guarantee you that. His mantra is, I must win. We must win. I must win. And repeat it. And I think he got that from Jack. So the legacy certainly lives on. To Willie Taggart. Willie Taggart taught us here at Western Kentucky, you got to recruit. You got to work at it. And that's why we're standing here today on a double-digit win season coming off of that because of recruiting. And that's what the key is. He also, I'm very indebted to him. He was able to share with me his love and passion for this great university, his alma mater. So I'm very indebted to Willie Taggart. He called me earlier today, and I look forward to catching up with him. David Shaw, head football coach at Sanford, who I had a chance to work with on 2 separate occasions at Sanford. He's one of the most cerebral and one of the most consistent head football coaches that I've ever been around. And I thank him for that, for being his consistency. Brian Harsin, head coach at Boise State, doing a great job there at Boise State, following a very tough act in Coach Chris Peterson as the next head coach. The thing I learned from him is you got to be very creative. You got to innovate in everything you do, recruiting, on the field, offensively. And you also got to do a great job of attacking. And you attack the job from the first day that you arrive, and that's what we did at Boise State. Brian Kelly, you have a chance to work for Brian Kelly, 26-year veteran as a head football coach. That's pretty rare in this day and age. One of the longest tenured head football coaches in all of college football. I'm forever indebted to Coach Kelly for really learning how to handle 2 different types of situations, 2 different types of seasons. We had one of the best seasons in Notre Dame history with regards to injuries and overcoming with the next man in mentality in 2015. We obviously took our lumps in this year in 2016. What I learned this year is more than any year that I've learned in my coaching career, having gone through this past season. And I learned a lot from Coach Kelly about how to navigate those waters. And it was a tremendous challenge and a tremendous opportunity for personal growth. And I can assure you that last year in 2016 has made me a better football coach, and I'll apply those lessons going forward here at Western Kentucky. And lastly, but certainly not least, to my father, the biggest inspiration to me as a coach in my career. He was my first boss in the coaching profession at UNLV. I was a graduate assistant for him, and he gave me my first opportunity. And one thing I've always thought, and he always challenged me, is it's really about getting that opportunity and what you do with it. And I just want to thank my dad for showing me through the years that the profession of coaching is just an unbelievable opportunity to have a profound impact on young men and also the coaches that you have a chance to be around. He's influenced more men in this profession than I think I could count on every hand in this room. His influence has gone long and far. Also, he's the most organized head football coach I've ever been around, and the most detailed and the most scheduled. And so I'm going to rely heavily upon his expertise and his knowledge and his wisdom in this first year as I take on this professional opportunity. And to the players, this game is all about players. Coaching is all about players, and we can't forget that players are the ones that put us in the positions to be on the stage. And so I thank the players that I've coached. I thank Stephon Taylor at Stanford. I thank Deshaun Kaiser at Notre Dame. I thank Christian McCaffrey, a kid that I had a chance to be in the recruiting process with. Those kids are the ones that give us an opportunity to be here. We can never forget about that. And lastly, to the institutions that I've had a chance to work at, namely places I've had a chance to repeat jobs at, both at Boise State, obviously at Stanford, and then lastly at Notre Dame. Notre Dame has really shaped me in a lot of ways and has really impacted me and my family, and we're very grateful to Jack Swarbrook and that community for all they've done. So going into Western Kentucky and where we stand right now as a football program. So you always have to ask the question, where have we been? Where are we now, and where are we going? And so where have we been? This program has made unbelievable jumps, due largely to the 2 men that sit to my right and to my left, due largely to the coaches that have preceded me in this opportunity. So right now we're in a place right now very similar. It reminds me much of where I was at as a senior at Boise State University in 2004. We were a team that had just gone undefeated, had a chance to play Louisville in I think it was the Liberty Bowl, and lost a close game to Louisville. But it was a 13-1 season, and we had to look back, and as a program, Boise State had to say, what now? Where can we go from here? We've won a lot of conference championships, been a lot of double-digit victory seasons. And so with that being said, I have some lofty goals for this program because I believe that's where this program can go. And those goals are certainly, as we sit here, they look like they are far-reaching. They look like they are out there. But those goals are fivefold. And number one, every player that comes to Western Kentucky that matriculates into this fine institution, we want to graduate. We want to graduate every player that comes here. We want to have the best APR score in the Conference USA. Number two, we want to serve this community of Bowling Green and the surrounding community relentlessly. We want to make sure it's not just something we do for photo opportunities, that they really understand that our players, our coaches, our families are invested in this community. Because we want them to know that we care about them, and then they reward us by caring about us and showing up and being loud in that game at House & Smith. Thirdly, we want to win the Conference USA championship game. Fourth, something that's happened before here at Western Kentucky, but on a yearly basis, we'll have an opportunity to play a Power 5 conference team. And our goal is to defeat a Power 5 conference team each and every year that we play. And lastly, we want to win a New Year's 6 bowl game here at Western Kentucky University. I believe that's possible. I believe that that can happen. I believe that we're going to work toward that goal. So how is this possible? Well, the mantra and the calling card and everything that we want to be about here at Western Kentucky is about the pursuit. And that's going to be my mantra, the pursuit of all those goals. Because they look lofty, to be quite frank. To say those 5 goals are attainable, those are out there. All right, but the pursuit is something that we have to line up each and every day and wake up each and every morning and realize that it's about that individual day that's right in front of you. It's not about today I'm going to think about winning the Conference USA championship, or I'm going to win a New Year's 6 bowl game. No, it's strictly today. Today's Wednesday. So our players have to wake up that day and say, I need to attack Wednesday. And then next day, I need to attack Thursday. And we got to stay in the moment. We got to stay in the moment because if we're in that moment, those little victories each and every day, beat Wednesday, beat Thursday, beat Friday, beat Saturday, those add up. Those add up to having a chance to compete at the very highest level. So it's going to be a process, and we're all about the pursuit. The other part of the pursuit is it's recruiting. We're going to pursue the best players. We're going to pursue the best players in Conference USA, and we're going to pursue the best players in the state of Kentucky. We really believe that we are one of 3 flagship institutions in the state of Kentucky here at Western Kentucky University. So we're going to recruit as such, and we're going to go relentlessly after the state of Kentucky in recruiting. We're going to go relentlessly after the neighboring states. And I think that's what's so impressive about this job and what's so appealing about it is we truly are on the Mason-Dixon line of recruiting. We can get up north. We can get right there to Ohio and Indiana and Illinois. And we got to make sure we do a great job up north. But certainly, culturally, we're very southern here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And so we got to do a great job in Georgia and Tennessee and Florida and the surrounding states, obviously, in the south. So what we're going to do in recruiting is it's going to start right now. Our hashtag is going to be #ThePursuit17 because we're coming after the class of 2017. And that's going to be, we're going to pursue the best players that we can possibly get here. Moving on to the identity of our football team. What is our football team going to be all about? Well, it's going to have 3 phases of what I want to see from our football team. Number 1, and most importantly, we're going to be physical. We're going to be a physical football team that lines up, and when you get off that bus, all right, you got to be ready to get your lip bloodied a little bit, okay? Because that's how it's going to be. It's going to be a kind of football team that wants to get into a nice battle on the field with you, okay? We're going to win the trenches on offense and defense. I had to kind of get out of coach mode there. I almost slipped there. Excuse me. We're gonna no penalties. But after being a physical team, number 2, we're going to execute. We're going to be about the details. The devil is in the details, and there's no question that we're going to be about the execution. And with that, we're going to make sure that we understand that the football itself is the most important thing in this program. Holding on to the football like it's the most important thing in this program, and realizing that as you carry that football as a ball carrier, that each and every person that surrounds this program, their faces are on that football. You take care of it as such. And on defense, we're going to bring that football back on special teams. Get that football back and bring it to the sideline, hand it to the head coach. Let the offense go out there and score. And then thirdly, we're going to attack. In everything we do, we want to be an attacking football team. We want to attack with creative, innovative schemes on offense, defense, and special teams. On offense, there's going to be times where we're in 5 wide receiver sets. And the very next snap, we might have 7 offensive linemen on the field. That's what we want to do. We want to be difficult to prepare for, but we also want to be sound and simple and allow young players to play. I believe that's all possible, and I've seen it done. On defense, I want to be sound, simple, 4-down based, and I want to pin our ears back and get after the passer, get after the ball carrier. I want to be very creative in our blitz packages on 3rd down. And then special teams, our best players are going to play. It's going to be an honor to play special teams. It's not going to be just something you have to do. It's going to be an honor to play special teams. We're going to play fast and furious. So with all that being said, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that I have a passion for this place. I have a passion for this job. And most importantly, I can't wait to attack this job with an enthusiasm that is really unknown. Okay, I'm not going to use Coach Harbaugh's quote. Cut myself short there. I got in the moment. But I do look forward to attacking this job from the very first day that we start, and that's right now. And with that, I'd like to open up to questions.